We're going to be talking to Dr. Francis Boyle here in just a minute or two, just until the bottom of the hour, and we'll take some more calls, get into all the other important news. We're talking to him about Barack Obama, the state of the world, the geopolitical landscape as he sees it here in just a moment. First off, I want to tell you about a few of the sponsors that have made today's transmission possible. One of them is EcoloBlue.com. EcoloBlue.com, atmospheric water generator for your home, pays for itself in 1 year if you buy your water from the store. Pure, clean water without the fluoride, and limited water from the humidity in the air. Know exactly what you are drinking. The machine produces up to 28 liters of water, 7.5 gallons a day. The generated water is passed through 7 filters, including reverse osmosis and carbon. Simple to use, no chemicals, pollutants, or toxins. Neutral pH, your own source of clean drinking water. They also have little solar power generators if you want to be completely off the grid with this system. Check them out at EcoloBlue.com, or give them a call. 800-691-6043. 800-691-6043. I have one here in the office, and I absolutely love it. Okay, let's go ahead now and go to our guest. His latest book is Tackling America's Toughest Questions, Alternative Media Interviews, Francis A. Boyle. And his past interviews with us have made national news attention. Francis Anthony Boyle is a professor of international law at the University of Illinois College of Law. He also went to school with all the big neocons. He can tell you about them. Boyle is known for taking a number of highly controversial positions on various issues in international law. He's also helped write some of the major United States treaties, including on biological weapons. And he's an expert on what's happening right now in the United Nations with Iran. And I want to ask him about government-sponsored terror. I know Iran's been suing the United States for staging terror attacks, which the U.S. admits they've been staging in Iran. The United States has also been caught shipping in Wahhabist terrorists now into Iraq to attack our troops. I mean, the magnitude of this is so huge. So I wanted to talk about that with him, just the overall geopolitical situation, what he thinks of Obama, better than Bush, worse than Bush. Dr. Francis Boyle, thank you for joining us.
Well, Alex, thank you very much for having me on, and my best to your listening audience.
Okay, you heard me throw out all those points. Where should we start? Let's talk about Obama.
Right. What we're seeing here is continuity in policy across the board with Bush. They're smoother in terms of public relations and media, which is why Obama won the Democratic primary and the election. But in terms of policies, not really much change. Here in the United States domestically, most important for us all the key elements of the Bush police state that we have discussed before remain in place. And in fact, Obama, who is a lawyer, used to teach constitutional law, although at the University of Chicago, which is the home for the neocons, and where he derives many of his advisors in economics and things of this nature, ordered his lawyers to go into court, and instead of abandoning or reversing the Bush positions, continued to ratify them in federal courts all over the country. Indeed, his Solicitor General, Elena Kagan from Harvard Law School, the former dean there, is a lackey for Larry Summers. That when Summers was president of Harvard, he put her in power. She immediately turned around and hired one of these torture lawyers out of the Bush administration, a guy named Goldsmith, that many of us in the profession believe is a war criminal. I tried to stop it. She hired him anyway because both Larry Summers and Kagan, even as of today, fully support the bogus Bush war on terrorism. And in her capacity then as Solicitor General, she works with the Attorney General, but basically is in charge of litigation strategy throughout United States federal courts, especially at the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals. And if you follow all the cases since they came to power, there had been no change, no breakthroughs, no nothing. They're going to reconstitute the kangaroo courts in Guantanamo. In addition, Obama is worse than Bush in that now he and his administration have publicly raised instituting preventive detention here in the United States of America. To the best of my knowledge, the Bush administration had not yet gone that far. So, in other words, they're going to be importing the kangaroo court system on Guantanamo, which so far we have only applied to aliens, moving it in here to the territory of the United States of America and potentially applying it to United States citizens. And, Obama, as I said, taught con law at the University of Chicago. That law school is completely right-wing. I went there as an undergrad. Actually, I was accepted there to law school. Thank heaven I got into Harvard Law School, which is a bit more progressive than that place. So he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's continuing to construct the architecture of a police state here in America. As for abroad, again, continuity of policy, more threats, provocation, intimidation, destabilization of Iran. This was orchestrated, as we know, out of the White House, where you had this fellow Jared Cohn, who worked for the policy planning division, ordered Twitter to remain open so it could be used as a tool to destabilize Iran. The Policy Planning Bureau is headed by Anne-Marie Slaughter, behind me at Harvard Law School, another neocon. While she was dean at the Woodrow Wilson School, she openly and publicly mongered for war against Iraq, did everything she could in her capacity using the name of that of her deanship, and also as president of the American Society of International Law, to support a war of aggression against Iraq, up to and including assassinating Saddam Hussein, murdering a head of state, which is an international crime. Condi Rice put her on, I believe it was one of her democracy promotion committees. And we all know that means regime change. So she's now there at the State Department. At the State Department for the destabilization of Iran was, of course, Dennis Ross, a longtime neocon agent for the Israeli government. I was up against him at the Middle East peace negotiations from 1991 to 93. Ross is more loyal to Israel than he is to the United States. He did such a wonderful job starting this destabilization against Iran over the election that he has now been moved to the White House and promoted, and he is Obama's right-hand man now, orchestrating U.S. policy toward this entire region. It's not just Iran, but the Gulf and Central Asia.
Okay, Dr. Boyle,
yeah.
I mean, this is all incredible info you're laying out, and you've worked in and around all these people, so you're the expert to have on. But in our limited time, I want to digress back,
sure,
and then continue forward. I mean, you were hopeful with Obama. Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, a conservative, was hopeful. Many people were, because Bush had been so horrid. Are you saying, though, from your educated perspective in so many of these fields, that clearly, I mean, to me, he is the ultimate left cover closer to kind of keep the empire going and expanding, and to really cement the horrible police state measures here in the United States, the wiretapping, the secret arrest, the Northcom, the military openly announcing local CIA offices opening up. I mean, I feel like I've entered some alternate dimension of police state. So I'd like you to specifically speak to that. And then suddenly the left that decried Bush is in love with the jackboot.
Right. Well, I think you are right about Obama. You saw the summit there in Moscow. Obama is kind of like Medvedev, who's a figurehead for the people who put him in power. We know in Russia the real power is Putin and the KGB. Putin used to be head of the KGB. Once KGB, always KGB.
So it was a puppet meeting. I mean, that's what I thought this morning watching, and I said,
right.
oh, look, the two bookends, the two puppets are together.
And his top advisor on Russia is a neocon named McFall from the Hoover Institute, where Condi Rice came from and has now returned to. So it's a revolving door of neocons.
So where is all this going? We know he kept Gates, and we know it's neocon. You're right there. Where does this go now? Who are they going to attack next?
Well, I regret to say, if you listen to Vice President Biden's statement, it looks like it's going to be Iran. He basically said, gave a green light for Israel to attack Iran.